Hey YouTube, Matt Marco playing a current production model guitar. This is a 2020 Epiphone SG Classic. I was very tempted by these when I saw them come out. See, they've changed the headstock to be slightly less Epiphone-y and a bit more sort of halfway between an Epiphone headstock and a Gibson headstock. Good move. I think people don't like the Epiphone headstock. I don't mind it on certain guitars, but on an SG or a Les Paul, it's just a badge saying I bought the cheaper one. So they kind of did that intentionally. So it's a sort of satin, not finished, I don't know what you call it, sort of like stained. Kind of a wee bit reminds me a bit like of Francis Rossi's guitar, done with green shed paint. Binding on the neck. Epiphone Cluson Deluxe style tuners. Quite nice. P90s, rocking. I mean, I was very tempted by the Pelham Blue version of this. I believe it has a wraparound tailpiece, which I like, rather than the Tunematic, and the P90s and the big scratch plate. It just totally appeals to the, Pete Townsend, Black Sabbath, obviously Tony Iommi, Mike Oldfield. I would really like a double P90 SG, and the Pelham Blue one looks stunning. It's not. I think it's maybe a slightly different range from this because it's got the wraparound, and I don't think it's got so it's maybe a little bit more expensive for the Pelham, the one I was looking at. Yeah. So my pal bought this brand spanking new, and I was like, oh wow, and I said, I sent me a picture. I was like, oh wow, green one, blah blah blah. I said I quite fancied the Pelham Blue one. I was thinking about it. I think it was about $350. So was it $350? Something like that. I should probably have looked it up before I did this video, but I didn't. Yeah, so this one's maybe a little bit less than the Pelham Blue one, I think. Maybe, I don't know. It's 300 quid, something like that. They bought it brand new from a guitar shop in town, in Glasgow. And then he got back to me and goes, yeah, can I book you in to set up my new Epiphone? I was like, well, you're not set up when you got it? Oh, okay, maybe think about a bit of fine adjustment. Is that the action's really high and it's the intonation's out. Like, okay, so I just went and picked it up. Quite looking forward to doing this video. I was like, yes, I'm going to do a video of a brand new Epiphone. And I'm always slagging off modern guitars, Gibsons and Epiphones and stuff like that for being shit because I like old 80s guitars. There's probably an element of them, something to do with being 30 or 40 years old. The wood ages and the crunches up and it's better, whatever. So I was thinking, I'm really looking forward to getting into this. But, and I'm really sorry about this, Chrissy, I hope you've still got the receipt for this. I would send it back pronto. I don't want to touch it. So he said, when he showed me a picture online, he's like, yeah, the bridge is sitting at a funny angle, and it was sitting, it's like this side, the bridge was sitting like, 5mm higher than this side or something, and you could almost fit your finger between the E string, the fat E string and the 12th fret. It was like really high action, the sort of thing you would expect to find on a, if you bought an acoustic on Gumtree for 20 quid, that sort of action. I was like, that's really quite strange, especially with the bridge being at that angle. I was like, did you not? Is that, it's from a shop, yeah? Is that, yeah, and I asked them to, set it up, make sure I got a good one and stuff. That's why you buy it from a shop. I think, I'm not sure he bought it from, I'm not sure he actually went and picked it up. I'm sure that if, I think maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but basically he bought it full price, thingy, and the fretwork on it is non-existent. They didn't do it. It's buzzing all over the place on the E string. The skeptic in me says, because this happened to me years ago with a shop that's no longer there, so I can slag it off. It was called the Guitar Store. My pal bought an Epiphone EB3 and it buzzed everywhere. And he took it back, said that, and he went, oh, we'll fix it. And then, so he went, then he got a phone call back, went back the next weekend. There you go, it's fixed. It was like, yeah, see, no buzzing. And it was like, oh, give me an E there, this doesn't sound right. What they've done is they've just tuned it up to A. So that because the strings were really tight, they didn't buzz anymore. So as soon as you went back down to E, it was just buzzing all over the place again. And it was like, oh my god, I can't believe they just did that. Blatantly that's what they just did in this crappy shop in town. which isn't there anymore, so it's fine. And then I was like, so took it back in again, straight back in the car as soon as I tried to tune it, like, right. And I went back, and then it went back again next time, and what they'd done is they'd raised the bridge up really high, so the action was like, you could get your hand below the strings so that it didn't buzz, but you're sitting there holding the strings down like, and so he got his money back, or he swapped it for another guitar. I can't remember exactly. He swapped it for a P bass actually. That's what they've done here. What they've done is they've raised up the bridge until it doesn't buzz anymore. If I run my fret rocker on it, so this is a brand spanking new guitar. I'm just going under the E string. I've not even looked at the other ones, right? So you get a rocking, second fret's high, fifth fret's very high, seventh fret's high. Alright, okay. Now we're off that one onto this fret rocker. This rocking noise you're hearing is high frets. Fine. 10th. Fine. 12th. Fine. 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 Well, we're getting a run of okay frets here. Fine. 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 Rocking. Right, so basically this is a guitar that has not been touched apart from somebody, whoever it was, whatever. I need to find out what, I don't want to badmouth anyone, but I didn't ask him actually what shop it was he bought it from. But I'm not impressed with this. I think you should be able, in this day and age, you should think that something like a fret job doesn't change unless, the argument is maybe the frets have popped out when it was getting transported, but that must happen everywhere. It's not like Scotland's, the desert or the North Pole. It's okay, it's slightly damp and a bit cold compared to everywhere else, but it's well within the sort of middle bit of, environmental things, so the frets shouldn't be popping out. I've bought the guitars. I bought quite a few guitars straight from China when I was in China, which I'm dying to get back to. Can't go there just now. And I haven't had one with frets as bad as this from straight from the factory in China, and I'm talking about buying guitars at, what did I say this was, 300 quid? Yeah, okay, a sixth of this, something like, I don't want to tell how much guitars cost. You'd be sick if you knew how much guitars cost straight from the factory, how much, something like this actually costs to make if you bought it in China. Okay, it's got Epiphone written on it, but you get one the same that doesn't have Epiphone, or you get one that's got fake Gibson written on it, I can't really tell you that, but yeah, so if you hope you still got the receipt for this, send it back. I'm thoroughly unimpressed. I don't want to touch it. I mean, yes, I could, sort the frets, give it a fret job, but if you're buying a brand spanking new guitar, you shouldn't have to do that. Not at 300 quid. It's maybe different, if you buy, remember Aldi used to do those guitar, it was a few years ago now, they had like tellies for 50 quid and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. I can accept that something like that, if you're paying £50 for a brand new guitar, you can't really expect it to be really good. But this is an Epiphone. This isn't the cheap one either. You can get this cheaper. This is a set neck thing. So I'm really, really unimpressed. I'm going to turn it on and see what it sounds like. You'll just have to, maybe if I put the fuzz pedal on, you won't hear the buzzing quite as bad. As I said, I've got the action set not super low. It's just set like 2p at the 12th fret, not quite. People would normally say that was quite I know one of my pals especially was like, action's pure ridiculously high, but I mean I like a little bit of fight so you can get in below and get a bit more bend in it, you know what I mean? A bit more dynamics. But this is buzzing like mad, even set up to what I would consider to be a still acceptable but maybe slightly on the high side action, and it's just buzzes are coming through, but anyway, doesn't seem to be in tune either, which seems I've just tuned it. Maybe these strings haven't been stretched, so I'm going to give it that. If it's not holding tune, these strings will be the ones that came on it, I think. I can't criticise it for not staying in tune because I haven't stretched the strings, and I kind of don't want to touch it, so that when he sends it, you know, when he sends it back, they don't have some sort of excuse for not giving you it. Don't get the tuner on. Yeah, so just playing through my wee laney, clean. Yeah, so the action is actually this is the first time I've actually played any chords on it. The action is quite high, maybe slightly higher than what I would have for myself. Neck. Tune for more than 2 seconds. But I said I'm not going to. I can't complain about that because the strings haven't been stretched in. It's likely that these strings were put on it. You know, this is a 2020 model, so it could have been 6 months ago, and then it's been sat untuned. So you need to bend the strings. Basically, if you're buying a new guitar, you want to buy a new set of decent strings anyway, rather than having the ones they ship on the guitars are always pants, even on expensive guitars. I think. Well. Even on guitars up to, I think if you're spending 500 quid, you might get like Didarios or something. So give it a couple of strums here. It's just too busy, I can't play it. And I'm used to build, I buy guitars all the time off Gumtree and stuff like that, you know, the Bucky casters. I mean, I'm selling them for sort of 80 quid, 100 quid, so you know I'm buying them for 40 quid sort of thing. So I'm used to playing bad guitars. Normally I would, if obviously if I bought a guitar like this, I would just fix it myself, you know, out with the file and all that, but because it's new, yeah, so going by my experience, of every brand spanking new Epiphone from 2020 that I've played, this one only, never, I didn't try, I've never played any other ones. I am super unimpressed. Bad job. The fretboard as well, I don't know what it's made of, I don't think it's rosewood. It's a sort of really light looking, cheapy, nasty looking stuff. I mean, the guitar, the outline, they've got the look right. It looks stunning, it really does. I mean, it's like the big, is it the Batman? It looks a wee bit like a Batman logo, or is it Batwing? I don't know, with the full faceplate, pick guards, the p90s, rocking. Yeah, so not really much of a review, not much playing in it. I don't want to damage it just in case when he takes it back the shop says, oh, it's good, you know, it's obviously been played. I was like, oh. So yeah, so if you're going to buy one of the new Epiphones, try it and go to a shop and try it and make sure you get one that works. I mean, it's like, I can't say that all, I mean, there's an element, I think, which I found this with the Chinese guitars, they put the frets in and then that's it. And, you know, maybe somebody checks it. I think somebody's maybe checked some of the, you know, the ones I've bought and give it a quick file. Or they put the frets in and then they give it a rough, you know, sanding just to make sure they're all level. That's not been done with this. This has been, the frets have been put in and they've gone, right, next, put the strings on, into the box. So, if you're going to buy one of these, I'm pretty sure actually, Chris, my pal, told me, I think he actually got it from a shop in town in Glasgow, but it was a mail order thing. I don't think he actually went in. He doesn't drive, he's got a bike. I don't think he went into town and got it, so he basically just bought it off their website or whatever and then got it sent to his house. And for that, it's unacceptable. I'm sorry. So, rant over. I don't want to tar every Epiphone like this. Back in the old days, I know that a guitar shop, what guitar shops used to do is they would buy the guitars in, and then they would go over them and make sure they were all right. You know, they would run it, and things like high frets, and then they would send them back, or they would do, you know, wee niggly bits of work to make it part of the thing. That was part of the buying it from a shop experience, because you're going into the shop and trying it. But I have to be worried about this. The skeptic in me says, a guitar like this, I can quite envisage somebody buying this as their first guitar. You know, a couple hundred quid, 250 quid. Your first guitar, and they're going to go, oh, strings are buzzing. You know, I'm not yet learning how to play it properly. This is what happened to me. I didn't buy a brand new guitar. I bought it was a Honor. It was a Honor Rockwood, and it had a backbone in the neck. Well, what I think now is it had a backbone in the neck, so I couldn't play open chords on it because they just buzzed. That's why I learned how to play Black Sabbath instead, because it was all up here, and the guitar worked up here for Paranoid and all that. It wasn't until I got a shot of one of my other pals' guitars. Well, actually, it wasn't until I bought an acoustic 6 months later, and it was like pure, oh my god, these chords are easy. I thought they were really hard, but actually, you know, G and C and that are easy. It was because my guitar, the neck was worked, so it didn't really work up until you got to the 5th fret. So that could happen to somebody. I feel sorry for the person who does that, because I think, I mean, was it Phil McKnight? You know, I'll plug other YouTubers who are much more popular than me. Was saying that something like 10% of people who buy a guitar actually are still playing it in 10 years' time, sort of thing. You know, 90% of people who buy a guitar buy it, give up on it, and then it sits in a cupboard for a couple of years and then they sell it, sort of thing. So these might be starting to appear in, you know, a couple of years' time, with people just go, I bought a guitar. It didn't sound very good. I didn't, you know, gave up on it, especially with this lockdown thing. You know, where people are buying guitars up here. All right, I'm sitting in the house all day. Well, I'll learn to play the guitar, or finally get down to it. Yeah. So this is going back in its case, and I'm sorry, everyone. I mean, I know I love to slag off Les Pauls and SGs and Squire. Basically, I like anything that's normal. I don't like. I like ones that are crazy. I'll give a lot of leeway for like. The Fender Bullet Mustang is a guitar I really like. It's brilliant. It's like 100. I think it was 110 quid. I think it's £120 this year. It was a fantastic wee thing. A couple of them I've played, and they were fine. And my pal who actually had one, he bought it straight direct from. I don't know if he bought it direct from Fender, but he said the box was still sealed, so it was like, you know, factory sealed. I took it out and it was fine. You know, a wee tweak here for personal preferences. You know, you lower the action a wee bit, give it a bit of a wipe, you know, that sort of thing. But this is this needs work done on it, and I'm not wanting to do it unless. I mean, I assume my pal didn't buy it as a second or anything like that. I could do the work, but I mean, I don't know what I would. I know what I would charge, but I don't know how much. Like if you took it to a shop or a luthier to do like a fret job, what does a fret job cost? Because it kind of needs a stoning. You know, it's like there's not one. It's not a high fret. It's like 6 of them or something, and that's only under the E string. I don't really know what it's like under the other strings. I'd imagine much the same. Well, the top one's still out. Yeah, I'm not going to run my way through all the frets. Yeah, so bit of a rant. I'm glad. Well, in some ways, I'm not. I wish it had been me that bought it, because if I'd bought this after 3 minutes, it would have immediately been straight on the internet, like money back now. You know, this is not good. I just hope that my pal has the receipt, and well, I think these days you probably, if he got it sent to him, they know they sent him a guitar. I don't think he probably needs a receipt. But yes, so a big thumbs down for this particular 2020 Epiphone. I can see what they were doing. It's kind of tainted me a little bit against. You know, I was still sort of playing about if this was going to be good, I would have maybe bought the Pale and Blue one, because I think it looks absolutely stunning. But this one looks really good as well. I think he's a Celtic fan though, so you couldn't have a blue one. It has to be a green one. Yeah. So, rock on and be careful. if you're looking at something like this, and just be prepared. Even if you're buying this as a new guitar, and you know you're maybe learning or something like that, get somebody who's played guitar for 10 years or something like that to have a shot of it and see what they think. And if they start going, it's buzzing all over the place, or you know, like this one, the action's pure stupidly high, so they will know that. Whereas if you're a beginner and you don't know how to play the guitar, you're not going to notice that. Yeah, so 20 minutes complaining, rocking. Catch you later.